minutes to answer all the 10 questions. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready to go?
We are ready.
We go. Snakes only close their eyelids when they sleep. Wait. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I'm seeing you. Close your eyes. Oh, the one in the black mask, face down. Oh, hallelujah. You see how school fees of our parents disappeared in her ID. All right. We're going to start.
Okay.
Snakes only close their eyelids when they sleep. True or false?
False.
That's correct. A snake must be coiled in order to strike. True or false?
False.
Pangolins are found in Australia and Africa. True or false?
False.
The incubation period of a peacock is 30 days. True or false?
False.
Yes. All birds secrete urine mixed with feces. True or false?
True.
False. The trophic pyramid represents the most energy efficient organisms on top of the pyramid. True or false?
False.
That's correct. The Nile crocodile has the strongest jaw. True or false?
False.
Hold on. You sure? Yeah, okay. The benthic zone is a zone that is consistent among all waterways. True or false?
False.
That's true. Climate would be part of biotic factors affecting the environment. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Pangolins are a type of reptile. True or false?
False.
That's correct. The open ocean is the largest biome on Earth. True or false?
True.
That's correct.
Yes, Mkumba University, out of 10, you've got 8 points.
I understand this session is running online, so
We
how
have-
can
we
you
have
see
not
this?
discussed it. We have not discussed it. Oh no.
We've forgotten that we are online. We forgot that we were online. We should have put it online. They are the only ones we have asked. All the others have been answered in fresh. Now these ones have gotten repeated.
They are going to come back. We are going to remember.
No, the last one. This is the last one that's repeated. The rest we did. This one. They are going to come again.
It is okay.
Tell them.
You got new question.
We are going for short answers for them. They come back. Why didn't you remind us that you had seen the answers? You were live streaming. Don't deny God is here. God is here. Don't deny. God is in the house.
Are you good?
No, God is in the house. Don't lie, okay? Because no, you had been live streaming outside. It's live stream. You didn't remind us. You know,
You
for
get the
us, we are
chance
here and we
enough to use
forgot.
it.
Eh,
We shouldn't misuse our chance. Once you
eh,
get it.
unfortunately, you're back to prove us wrong that you're that brilliant that you can remember and most of the things. So you're going to instead answer short answers. Okay? The questions are short answers. This time there will be 5. It's short answers. Okay? Each taking 2 marks. So the total still comes back to 10. Okay? Are you ready to start? Yes, please. The maximum we can take, they are very, very short answers. Within 2 minutes, you'll be even done. but the maximum we can go for is 3 minutes. They're very short,
Okay.
okay? All right. Number 1, what are Ramsar sites?
Ramsar sites are wetlands of national importance designated by the Ramsar Convention.
That's correct. The biggest national park in Uganda is called dash, and its size is dash, square kilometers.
Maction Fall National Park, and is around 4,000 kilometers.
Square kilometers.
Square kilometers.
You're not very far from the answer, but it's 3,900. So that's half a mark, because you passed the Maction Falls. So that's 1. Number 3. Silverback is to gorilla as dash is to chimpanzee.
Pass.
Pass? Pass?
The white hair.
Sorry?
The white hair.
No, wrong answer. It's an alpha male. A silverback is the head of the dominant male in gorillas. So the one for chimpanzees is the alpha male. The smallest national park in Uganda is called Dash, and its size is dash square kilometers.
Lake Mburu National Park, and it's around 1,200 kilometers, square kilometers.
Oh, that's wrong. It's Mogahinga, and it's 33 square kilometers. Uganda has a small population of roan antelopes. Where can one find them?
They are found in Pianupe.
That's correct. I think that's more original than the last one, the last session. Yes, please.
I think this is not fair.
The,
We could request the athlete set as a true or false session.
a true and false. You want to just guess. But your answers were not bad. You found,
It's okay.
And you answered 5 questions, not 10.
It's okay.
what's the score?
In Kumba University, don't get worried. You have 5 points from this round.
Can we have the teachers
The very low reproduction rate of one calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Murchison Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
I'm Joshua, I'm a research coordinator of WCS. This is Murchison Falls National Park. We monitor wildlife here, including elephants and lions, and we do this snaring where we remove wire snares settled by poachers to save wildlife here.
I'm John Bosco Kilama. I'm a driver in WCS. I help field team in the Murchison Falls where we encounter poacher, and we help also in removing wire snares and monitoring the lions and elephants.
Use of snares to hunt animals for bushmeat is a challenge in Africa's protected areas. While the snares target smaller animals like antelopes, they also entrap, maim, and endanger other wildlife, including the pillar of Africa's ecosystem, the elephant.
Elephants are wide-ranging species which can traverse the landscape for covering a distance of about 100 kilometers or so. That means that we are able to think in terms of the actual home, the ecological range within which we need to protect the species. And once you protect them, then you're likely to protect other species that, survive within that particular geographical range.
The very low reproduction rate of one calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Murchison Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
I'm Joshua, I'm a research coordinator of WCS. This is Murchison Falls National Park. We monitor wildlife here, including elephants and lions, and we do this snaring where we remove wire snares settled by poachers to save wildlife here.
I'm John Bosco Kilama. I'm a driver in WCS. I help field team in the Maxon Falls, where we encounter posa, and we help also in removing wild snares and monitoring the lions and elephants.
Use of snares to hunt animals for bushmeat is a challenge in Africa's protected areas. While the snares target smaller animals like antelopes, they also entrap, maim, and endanger other wildlife, including the pillar of Africa's ecosystem, the elephant.
Elephants are wide-ranging species which can traverse the landscape for covering a distance of about 100 kilometers or so. That means that we are able to think in terms of the actual home, the ecological range within which we need to protect the species. And once you protect them, then you're likely to protect other species that survive within that particular geographical range. They also support the dispersal of seeds of tree species. They modify the landscapes, beautify by yanking the trees, and that helps to create suitable environment or habitats for other species that graze and browse trees, like the antelopes, the Uganda bob, for example, the waterbuck, the bushbuck.
ava bakija batwegesa bagamba tushemerere kulinda eby'obuhangwa.
We identified those 7 parishes which are along the border of the national park, and we are focusing specifically on the plants which are still abundant. We focus on the plants which are diminishing and the plants which are extirpated.
Most of the endangered species in the communities had been cut down. From their training, we came to learn that these were noble medicines.
I received Mississippi tree seedlings, over 100. When they grow up, you can easily convert them into timbers. So if you are building, there is no need to again encroach on the forest.
Beto nyavestingire gwa kabiri nkayamulita mukaga bulilite munya kiguzaga amutwaro gumugumu twafuna kasende kandi kakwebesawo koguramu basabuno munyo tiyo ntuberawo batatulekeera batungire mamane muno.
We had a training to ensure that communities are able to reap good money out of this project.
We started with few activities. One was the nursery bed, to give them free seedlings so that they can plant more trees.
So that we plant where we destroy the forest. We told them our problems we were facing, and said now since we are facing a problem of school fees, let us assist you by paying school fees.
The big forest categories decided to give them 500,000 per term, and the small forest categories we gave them 250,000 shillings per term.
Loan yabandize ekaberi eyibatwaira as a group ekaba miliyoni musanju nyagura enkoko 100 nyazorora kumara amezi 6 zatandika kubiika hati nyatandika kuyaga sente omahuli ninzigaraga nkaha ombyokulya.
kandi kiri kibira baitu abo abantu okutoza enku hamwe n'okukora amakara bakimara mu kichweka muno kandi ekichweka kino kikaba kiri ekichweka ekikulinda ebisoro halimu engeyi enkende n'ebiteera baitu abo okukora nti emiti yatemwamu yagwamu ebisoro ebikasobola kuba ntibiruka mu kibugamu habw'ensonga egi nitukura mu kasumi kano tulimu tugezaho okugala aho ekisaka kino ekibira kandi n'okulinda obuhangwa tusiima muno aba JGI aba One Tree Planted okutuhereza embibozi n'emiti okulora twagala aho obuhangwa kandi n'okuligaruka okulinda ebisoro byaitu kola byagaruka mu kichweka kino.
Muno hoona hakabamo emiti ebiteera niho biikara tukusiima JGI habw'okutuha ensigo eno eitukubyara kandi tukyabyara habw'okuba omusana guli mwingi nikyo tukusenserera kandi ntusiima muno habw'okutuheereza ensigo mwebale muno. Nsiima muno JGI habw'okutuheereza embibo enu kugaaraho obuhangwa nkubasiima muno mwebale muno.
Planted these trees for the purpose of improving onto our environment. We had the forest, but people degraded it, and also we had the chimpanzees which could feed in this forest. But we thank the JGI and One Tree Planted for providing us with the indigenous trees.
Uganda, for her natural and wildlife resources, is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Budongo and Bugoma Central Forest Reserves is one of the largest forest reserves in Uganda, covering 120,000 hectares. This forest cover is home to a number of flora and fauna. Chimpanzees are one of the inhabitants of this forest. The communities here largely depend on this forest for their daily supply of wood fuel to use for cooking their meals at home. Competition for the dwindling resources has aggravated the human-wildlife conflict with incidences of crop destruction, sometimes fatal chimpanzee attacks on humans, and retaliatory attacks on the chimpanzees by humans.
Sometime around 2005, we realized that if we continued just working at protecting and securing
the protected areas, we would not succeed. And that is when we came up with a suite of different problems, because now we're dealing directly with the balance between socioeconomic needs and conservation needs. The Jane Goodall Institute, together and in partnership with the Environmental Conservation Trust of Uganda, EcoTrust, and the Chimpanzee Trust, established a Human Wildlife Conflict Resilience Fund, first piloting it in Kasongo-Ire Parish in Masindi District.
Our intervention did not exclusively to reduce the conflict. The point was coexistence. So to coexist, instances of crop raid must exist. Of course, the issue of injuries totally went down because people learned how to live with the chimpanzees.
With funds from Uganda Biodiversity Fund, Jane Goodall Institute implemented a community-owned quasi-insurance fund stemming from a community-based savings and credit scheme.
So far we have supported 19 families and we have used several enterprises. At least we have used 8 boer goats, 5 pigs, 1,000 banana thakas. Then we have also used the chili seeds and the sunflower seeds we got to support the people at the edge of the forest.
Okuruga obunyahindukire okubyara bichori nyagaruka kubyara sunflower na soya bean ebitakutalirwanizibwa enkobe hati nkuhura nsemereirwe muno nyino obusinge bwingi ebisoro ebi bino bugabe tibine kibikujja kuseerayo muno aherukuru
bakampereza embuzi eri nto muno saha zino embuzi yange yatwaire endayo kubanza ekazaara mbuzi 2 mu kono gumu nkagaba enkazi nyasigaza empaya nenyina wayo tokuba tugaba enkazi nosigaza empaya.
We have had 2 cases whereby chimpanzees fail in man traps, but the community members alerted us, something which was not there at first.
Corridor forest really must be protected and must be conserved to realize migratory routes for these animals so that the pressure is kind of shifted. People should not remain with the same pressure of the primates and the other animals in the same place year in, year out.
And we're glad to note that the Uganda Wildlife Authority is borrowing a leaf from this, and this has probably influenced the recently released policy, where such a model is also going to be scaled out at national level.
We will learn from the lessons from this human-wildlife conflict and then be able to introduce different modified versions to the different areas, depending on what kind of biodiversity needs to be introduced. But we also have to know that the communities also are looking for livelihood. So making sure that they learn how to derive their livelihood without destroying the environment around them is one of the key things that we must work on if we have to protect biodiversity going forward.
We hope that one day humans and wildlife will coexist together in harmony.
"5,000 chimpanzees still live in Uganda. But danger surrounds them. A growing demand for charcoal and firewood is shrinking their habitat every day. And in the last years, chimps have even begun to leave the forests in search of food, creating deadly conflicts with farmers. But there is a different side to this story. In Uganda, some people are turning away from charcoal and new forests are growing. They're setting up tree nurseries, teachers are talking about the environment in classrooms, and high-efficiency stoves are being built. And throughout the country, chimps are being rescued. We want to tell the story of how the Jane Goodall Institute, hundreds of villages throughout Uganda, and millions of Ecosia users are restoring the home of our closest living relatives. While Uganda's cities ever increase the demand for charcoal, there are signs of hope. In the western district of Hoima, we met Moses, who manages one of Ecosia's tree nurseries. When we pulled up, he was watering a bed of saplings. But we soon discovered that he wasn't always the chimp-loving forest defender that he is today.
Back in the year around 2011, I was truly a charcoal producer. But as time goes on, trees were getting finished. The primates, the animals, were actually taking off, running away from where they were because nature has been really totally cut down. Actually, when I came into my senses that charcoal was not benefiting me financially. Secondly, I was doing a disservice to my community. By felling down a tree, that's a very big disservice. By coming to seedling production, and then I found myself into senses of getting some money to support myself and the community. Currently, everybody wants to plant trees. Last year, we planted over 30,000 trees around the riverines. Imagine a child of 5 years having 10 trees. That's great. Now, whenever free days come, like in weekends, they visit my nice nursery site. We pot with them, they water for me the seedlings. At the end, I give them seedlings back at home to go and plant.
Moses taught us that you can't protect Uganda's chimps on your own. And to help him find the best planting locations and to make sure that his trees wouldn't be cut down, we've partnered with the Jane Goodall Institute. Jane Goodall is the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees, and she's dedicated her life to protecting them and their natural habitat.
The work that the Jane Goodall Institute does in Uganda, it's twofold really. One, it's about educating young people to understand the importance of trees. So there's a lot of planting of trees in schools. That's where I planted a good many trees, and helping young people understand the whole CO2 sequestration and how the trees hold water in the land. We have some wonderful demonstrations showing how when you bring trees back, it actually does bring a flow of water back to a place that was dried. And then the second one is the importance of planting trees to establish corridors between forest patches so that the chimpanzees can actually move as they used to from one forest patch to another.
Thanks to the corridors that we're planting with Jane Goodall, chimps can roam from one forest to the next, whether they're foraging or searching for mates. And the new trees have one further advantage. They are bringing water back.
I am Joram Basima.
Don't come with too much anger. You just smile. You're going to pass. When you have anger, you'll fail. And yet you have been doing well, okay?
We are happy that you have accepted our request.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Fairness is part of conservation. Yeah. So we apologize for that. Now we are going to give you the true and false questions, okay? All right, are we good to go?
We are good.
Okay. The lion is the most fearless animal on earth. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Typanamas is the name given to frogs' ears. True or false? The spelling is wrong.
False.
The spelling is wrong, so they're right. While it's written like that it's true. The spelling is wrong, so we are giving you a correct answer. It has a U somewhere. It's not written like that, so your false is the right answer, much as it's indicated true, okay? So it's true. The answer is right. I hope we are clear why. The pronunciation may sound the same, but the spelling was wrong. So that's why we are passing it with frog. Okay? A group of frogs is called an army. True or false?
True.
That's correct. All amphibians have no tails. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world. True or false?
True.
That's correct. The fear of insects is called entomophobia. True or false?
True.
All insects can turn their heads at 180 degrees. True or false?
False.
That's correct. A praying mantis cuddles its mate after mating. True or false?
True.
That's false. It actually kills it. A fruit fly was the first living creature to be sent in space. True or false?
False.
That's wrong. It's true. The cricket is the loudest insect on Earth. True or false?
False.
That's correct. But which is the loudest insect on Earth? I wanted to see if it was guesswork. It was guesswork. Okay.
So, Nkumba University, you've upgraded to 8 points.
Hello, welcome back. You're in the second round and you have true or false questions. You have 10 questions. And for every right answer, you get 1, a score of 1, okay? So the score is out of 10. And you have not more than 3 minutes to answer all your 10 questions. Actually, it's not more than 2 minutes, okay? Within 2 minutes, we should be done. Okay, are you ready to go?
Yeah, we are ready.
All right. Yellow-billed storks have national colors of Uganda. True or false?
True.
It's false. A lioness has 6 teeth. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Shoebill is one of the bird species that are endemic to Uganda. True or false?
False.
That's correct. The gestation period of a giraffe is 9 months. True or false?
False.
Oh, that's correct. Horns of rhinos are made of hair. True or false?
True.
Correct. A group of owls is called a community. True or false?
False.
Oh, that's correct. A bumblebee can live for 28 days. True or false?
False.
That's wrong. It's true. A woodpecker can fly backwards. True or false?
False.
That's correct. All elephants can jump. True or false?
False.
That's correct. An ostrich's brain is smaller than its eyes. True
True.
or false? Oh, that's correct.
Okay. Your total score is 8 points. Well done. You can take your leave.
Hello. Welcome back, and Kongs. So we're going for the second round, and you have 10 questions, true or false answers, okay? For each right answer, you get a score of 1. So your total score will be out of 10, okay? You have less than 2 minutes. Maximum is 2 minutes to answer all your 10 questions. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. The giraffe's tongue is purple. True or false?
True.
That's correct. The polar bear's skin is white. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Lizards can regrow their tails. True or false?
True.
That's correct. A turtle breathes out of its butt. True or false?
False.
It's true. A group of kittens is called a kindle. True or false? Correct. Zebras are known to spend 90% of their days sleeping. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Lions have the strongest jaw bones among the big cats. True or false?
True.
It's false. A peacock lays 1 egg every day. True or false?
True.
False. Peacocks don't lay eggs, they are cocks. The incubation period of an ostrich is 50 days. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Poisonous frogs are bright in color to attract mates. True or false?
False.
That's correct too.
Total score is 7 points.
The very low reproduction rates of 1 calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Murchison Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
I'm Joshua, I'm a research coordinator of WCS. This is Murchison Falls National Park. We monitor wildlife here, including elephants and lions, and we do this snaring where we remove wire snares allowed by poachers to save wildlife here.
I'm John Bosco Kilama. I'm a driver in WCS. I help field team in the Murchison Falls where we encounter poacher, and we help also in removing wire snares and monitoring the lions and elephants.
Use of snares to hunt animals for bushmeat is a challenge in Africa's protected areas. While the snares target smaller animals like antelopes, they also entrap, maim, and endanger other wildlife, including the pillar of Africa's ecosystem, the elephant.
Elephants are wide-ranging species which can traverse the landscape for covering a distance of about 100 kilometers or so. That means that we are able to think in terms of the actual home, the ecological range within which we need to protect the species. And once you protect them, then you're likely to protect other species that survive within that particular geographical range. They also support the dispersal of seeds of tree species. They modify the landscapes, beautify by yanking the trees, and that helps to create suitable environment or habitats for other species that graze and browse trees, like the antelopes, the Uganda bob, for example, the waterbuck, the bushbuck.
we started with few activities. One was the nursery bed, to give them free seedlings so that they can plant more trees.
So that we plant where we destroy the forest. We told them our problems we were facing. I said, now since we are facing a problem of school fees, let us assist you by paying school fees.
The big forest categories decided to give them 500,000 per term, and the small forest categories we gave them 250,000 shillings per term.
Loan yabandize ekaberi ejibatwaira as a group ekaba miliyoni musanju nyagura
The very low reproduction rates of one calf per female every 8 years, elephant populations recover more slowly than many other animals. The elephant population therefore needs to be protected. For several years, Wildlife Conservation Society has worked with other stakeholders to address elephant conservation challenges and threats in the country by studying elephants.
Studying elephants in Murchison Falls National Park is to understand their feeding ecology, the movement patterns is very important for us to identify the important corridors and also the preferred habitats so that we can protect them.
I'm Joshua, I'm a research coordinator at WCS. This is Murchison Falls National Park. We monitor wildlife here, including elephants and lions, and we do this snaring where we remove wire snares settled by poachers to save wildlife here.
I'm John Bosco Kilama. I'm a driver in WCS. I help field team in the Murchison Falls where we encounter poacher, and we help also in removing wire snares and monitoring the lions and elephants.
Use of snares to hunt animals for bushmeat is a challenge in Africa's protected areas. While the snares target smaller animals like antelopes, they also entrap, maim, and endanger other wildlife, including the pillar of Africa's ecosystem, the elephant.
Elephants are wide-ranging species which can traverse the landscape for covering a distance of about 100 kilometers or so. That means that we are able to think in terms of the actual home, the ecological range within which we need to protect the species. And once you protect them, then you're likely to protect other species that survive within that particular geographical range. They also support the dispersal of seeds of tree species. They modify the landscapes, beautify by yanking the trees, and that helps to create suitable environment or habitats for other species that graze and browse trees like the antelopes, the Uganda bob, for example, the waterbuck, the bushbuck.
Congratulations and welcome back.
Thank you.
Second last phase. So, are you ready? We are going for Scrabble. Have you ever done that? We have words which are going to be displayed there. They could be right or not right. Every word that is put there, we want you to arrange it to make sense within 1 minute. And we move on to the next one. You have 10 words to organize into the correct order. Yes. They are going to be displayed. Each word will be displayed for only 1 minute. And you organize it to write the right one. Okay? And one of you will have, within 1 minute, you have to read the right word you have arranged, okay? From those letters which will be displayed there. And then we move on to the next one, we move on to the next. So the faster you are, within the 10 minutes, you should be done. If you're not done, time up. We go with what you have done, okay? Yes, you have a question?
Is it fine if you put display like the minute?
5 seconds. Time is up. One measure.
That's correct.
One measure.
Write it because we are going also to look at it as in. We are going to look at that paper you have. Yes.
Indigenous.
Make sure it's written. Don't change it now. I will check. Yes. Next.
Transpiration. Lynches. Fungi. That is fun. There were and you pray. Close your eyes and you pray. It's Mgahinga. Pass. They're 10. They're 10. It's okay.
Yes, please. Yes, and then we replaced it with another. The one whose answer was seen, they are 10. They had seen. Isn't it 10? Be sincere. So the first question was invasive, which you failed. Very good. You slide the first question. Number one slide is not a question. That's why you failed. Okay, let's go. The last one. Thank you.
Just put it back. Put it back, please. Consensus. Consensus.
How was that one? The whole session? Huh? We are at the climax now. Eh?
Heartbeat
We are
was.
starting to feel it. Eh? Eh? The jokes are done of guessing.
No, well done. You really tried. Your score is 7 points.
Thank you.
But well done, well done. That was good. Send in the next group. You send in the next group. They know their numbers. Yes, the next group. The ones with number 2. The ones with number 2, please come in. So for this session, we are going for Scrabble. We have words which are disorganized, and we want you to organize them for us and give us the right words, okay? You have 10 minutes. For each question, there are going to be 10 of them. For each of them, you should spend only 1 minute. After 1 minute, you should give us the answer, okay? Whether it's right or it's wrong or it's a pass, within 1 minute, we move on, okay? All right, do you have a pen? All right, let's go.
Species. Zoonosis. Wildlife. Ecosystem. Biodiversity. Poaching. Trafficking. Excuse me. Do you have a timer? Please? All right. Pass. Herbivore. Please project back. third power.
Hey, the answer is there. How many did you fail?
2.
So total score 8 points.
Or you forgot your life. Welcome back. And congs upon reaching this stage.
Thank you.
We are going for you're now in semifinals. I hope you know that. So we have words that are really disorganized, and we want you to organize them. Give them a paper and a pen. They have. Yeah. We want you to organize them, and you have to write them down, and we are going to check at the end of it all. So there are 10 words that need to be organized within 10 minutes. Each word you should take only 1 minute, okay? Are we together? If you don't know the answer, you just pass on so that we move on fast, so that you finish within your 10 minutes. Because once the 10 minutes are done, we stop you. Whether you've done just 5, we just stop you, okay? Okay. So here we go. Ready? All right, let's start.
Pray. Mutualism.
Mammosiosis. Mammosiosis. Giraffe. Gorilla. Chimpanzee. Pass. Pangolian. The language. The pronunciation. It cannot vary from what is being projected there. The pronunciation.
Yeah, but the word direct, the letters were there and there was no double S. There is no A. Yeah, but it's there. I mean, I'm seeing Pangolian.
That is a different thing. Excuse me, madam.
Yes, please.
You're rushing. Just like you made a mistake on us when you gave us
already, and
It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault.
so now whose fault is this to put another A in our word which isn't there? It's about...
They were given half a mark. No?
Wait, the group was given what? Many chances to come in. But when you add something which isn't there, really.
Oh, but madam, also, you mentioned the answer, yet you're not mentioning the answer. When we're here with Bustema University, and they failed the question, you passed it to us. We told you the answer. You said you already given us a hint, but we didn't ask you for the hint. Errors are always made.
This error is grave.
So the error you made was...
You're adding letters which are not there. It's not about because you mentioned pangolin, but you wrote Pangolian. So
So, Kampala University, you have that mark. Total score is 6 points.
are they the ones you passed?
Yes, they are.
The 6, yeah? Okay. We have given you your Pangolian. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
We are fine.
Are you now happy?
Really happy.
You've been happy? Even the other one with the mask? Hey, I'm not.
The happiest, in fact.
Okay, that's very good. Congratulations, you're in the semi-finals.
Thank you.
So now we're going to have 10 questions. They are words which are disorganized, and we want you to organize them, make sense of them. You have 10 minutes to answer all your 10. Each question, you should spend just 1 minute, okay? And then after that one, within that 1 minute, you should give us the answer. If you can't, you pass it on and we go to the next, because you have only 10 minutes to answer all the 10 questions, okay? Yes, please.
What is the use of this paper?
You are going to write there, because they are words which are disorganized, and you have to organize them and make sense. After I will have the paper, you will give me the word, you mention the word, what it is, what it should be, and then, like the way you do Scrabble, then after you give me back the paper, we just want to see how good you are with writing and spelling.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, are you ready to go?
We are ready.
All right.
leopard. Cheetah. Lions. Antelope. Buffaloes.